dependable. Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
From the pitch to the palm of your hand, Betcage Sports brings to you iGaming, the ultimate dual gaming experience. Sports and iGaming in one powerful platform, live and legal. Tap your screen, place a bet, spin the reels, cash out fast. No delays, pure excitement. BetCageSports.com. Download the app and sign up today. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and over. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies, where a percentage of every dollar played with Cage goes to Windies for cricket and cricket development.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Back to school shouldn't meet you unprepared. St. Kitts Credit Union's Back to School Loan helps you borrow up to $10,000 with flexible repayment plans, fast approval, supportive terms. Invest in your child's future with confidence, because every child deserves a strong start. Start today at www.skccu.com or call 465-2272. SKCU, invested in their future with you.
1:39 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. It's time for SU St. Kitts and Nevis. Today is Tuesday, and as per usual, on a Tuesday, we do Hot Topics live. So this afternoon, like every Tuesday afternoon, we do have Mr. Nobian Griot here with us. Nobian is a very busy man these days. We're thankful that, he makes time for us to be here each and every Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Nobian. How are you?
I'm good, and happy Tuesday to you also and all your listening audience here and abroad and all around the world that chooses to listen to Freedom FM.
Yes.
Not only every Tuesday,
but every day.
But every day of the week, because they know they can count on all the information that they get here to be uplifting.
Definitely. World-class radio at its best. We are celebrating our 15th year of broadcasting to the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis and beyond. Correct. This week, Friday. So we are very excited about that. I can't even believe that it has been 15 years. Like 15 years.
Yes. Time flies very, very, very fast.
Definitely. Well, again, it's Tuesday, so this is Hot Topics Live. And Nubian has a hot topic. Nubian has the hot topic for this afternoon.
We try to bring the hot topics.
Yes.
Politically, socially, economically, all the hot topics that needs to be trashed out. They are trashed out here on Freedom FM.
Right.
But I won't want to spill the beans. I have my guest on his way. And so when he comes in, he would explain what he wants to expound on today. So
he's on his way?
Yes.
Okay. So before we get to the guest, do you have any updates?
Our back to school giveaway, annual giveaway, we normally do it in September, would be done at the Irish Town Primary School this Saturday from 10 to 1.
Okay, 10 to 1.
Correct. So all the parents in the constituency or wherever that needs a little assistance with back to school in terms of books, pens, pencils, erasers, geometry set, those sort of things, we would be distributing those on Saturday at the Irish Town, at the Halliday Smith Primary School from 10 to 1.
Okay, 10 to 1.
And we'll be cutting the children's hair. And we should have persons braiding the little girls' ears also.
Okay, fantastic. Right. So who qualifies?
Anyone qualifies.
Okay, anybody can come.
Because the hard economic problems that are going through right now, it isn't limited to one set of persons. We would like to deal with those in need first, and then we could deal with everybody else. So, guys,
Nobian is not going to say it because I guess he has to be politically correct. But if you don't need the assistance, don't go. Because there are some people who feel like if there's anything free, take two, and that kind of thing. If you are not in need, please leave it for the people who are in need. Because resources are scarce, a lot of people are having a difficult time, so leave the assistance for the people who need the assistance. And on that note, last week, Tuesday, a lady called in sharing the plight of a family of 5. I have the number.
Okay, good.
I'm going to get back to you with that number. But she called in a family of 5. I think it's 2 girls and 3 boys. And they are really in need of assistance. I want to thank the members of the business community and personal, ordinary citizens who reached out and pledged their support for that family. Thank you so much. But there is still need for more assistance because we're talking about 5 children, right? 5 children who need shoes, who need backpacks, who need school books, who need practically everything to get them back to school. So We are still asking for assistance. If you are in a position where you can assist, call us at Freedom FM and we'll point you in the right direction.
We even have a few, well, we only have 2 left for packages that we did specially geared towards children in high school.
Okay.
So we had 5. 3 of them are already assigned to persons, and we have 2 left. So we would deal with that on Saturday also.
Okay. So go on down and get your hair cut, get your hair braided, get your school bags and everything else that they have in store for you on Saturday. So Nubian, I see your guest has arrived.
Most definitely, and it's a guest that normally needs no introduction.
None.
Whatsoever.
Part of the Freedom family at this point.
He has became a further, I can't say he has become an internet sensation. He has become a further internet sensation.
He is actually going viral. Every single...
A mega star.
Yes.
Correct. You know, they have movies and they got mega stars.
Yes.
So he has transcended from to the mega.
Yes.
So he's here with us, and I would, as I said, he needs no introduction, so I would let him kick the ball rolling. Yes.
Wow. Jamie, I'm not surprised at Nubian, but I'm surprised that you're not that you only at your words, but you're beaming over there. Don't watch.
I'm happy that you're here.
Okay, I'm happy to be here too. And I'm actually was supposed to be here with a team that was supposed to join us from St. Vincent, because I've been asked to do some strategic marketing, because the St. Vincent Medical Cannabis Authority is gearing up to launch the Cannabis Festival. And I think that name going to ring with Nubian, because that's one of the things that we love for us to talk about, because we were one of the first. And they've asked me to do something, like I said, strategic marketing. So we really want to get them on shows that not only have that diaspora listen, but also hear the people. Not only listen, but when they know when the information comes from these areas, they know it's factual and it's going to reach every facet of our society.
Most definitely.
So I really wanted them to get onto this, but then they got busy on that end. So we could, and Nubian had already told me that he wanted to talk cannabis on a whole, globally, regionally.
Correct.
So we could still have that discussion and they'll come in at some other time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So that really was the purpose of today's
Yes,
visit.
that is what it was. So, do you have any info? Because it seems as though, well, for here in St. Kitts, and as you quite rightly said, we were one of the first, but it seems a little bit lagging in last. I don't know where to put it at this point in time. I guess the Federation and the Caribbean is looking, where they was looking first for leadership, now we're looking outside for that particular leadership. There is Antigua had I don't know if it was a cannabis festival the other day.
It was called Cannabis as well.
Correct. And St. Vincent is doing it, and we are left here wondering, I guess the cannabis community and the people of St. Kitts who looking to diversify in some way or looking to see growth in the cannabis industry, still waiting with their hands folded.
I wouldn't want to say I see it differently. I see it a little bit more deeper than that. In that I don't, and for now, because when I was CEO, we formed a very aligned group. None of the CEOs throughout the Caribbean or in the territories that have gone legal or decriminalized have this notion that it's a waste or anybody's out front or anybody's lagging behind. Can I give you the prime example? Jamaica has the best, the most global cannabis brand in the world. No Canada, no Israel could compete with it. Where people, even before it was legal, would travel around the world and that would be their bucket list, their dream list to just go to Jamaica and have that herb and be in the area that even some people went on a cannabis journey or a ganja journey without even wanting to smoke ganja. Because again, reggae and all that music is aligned with it. So, and they went out, we would want to say first. And in some respects, they're last. Now, if we are measuring it like that, and again, what all of us have come to the conclusion is that it must be a regional movement. And I like to say it very similar to the West Indies Federation, where if you don't approach it on that front, you're always going to have not just foreign direct investors, you're going to have other global economies that don't want to be eclipsed, that don't want to sidestep, that can't compete with a brand that has no wars, no issues, no global or geopolitical issues that would stop people from not just smoking the weed from the Caribbean, but coming and experiencing it in all its virtues. So we have a very unique product, and I think across the region we are aligned in the thought that we really have to do this as a regional movement, as a regional brand, because there's so many other facets that we have to control. For example, if you even think about a cannabis brand or a ganja brand right now, you'd want to know, somebody will want, well, reference me to the magazine or to the spot. So we are our centers of news, centers of economy, centers of finance, centers of agriculture that could speak for us and speak of the volumes that we have, because the quality and the worth is there. It's just that a lot of us are not aware of it. But I don't want to say someone as if like what you said doesn't bring us to really think and watch inward, because we can do so much, but a lot of it has to the people who are already risking it, who already have bone in the soup. A lot of people are waiting on the lawyers and waiting on government. This, in all truth and respects, and I could say that now, remember that this plant became illegal because of governments. So even if they're well poised and animated about it, they're really not in a position to really take it to where it needs to be. That will be the growers and the lovers and the users of the cannabis, not the abusers, because the abusers will take whatever they get. And the consumers will consume whatever they get from wherever it comes at the cheapest price. But the persons who've kept, I don't want us to keep this plant alive, because it's really the other way around. Because that's the other thing. A lot of what we're fighting for, we don't have to fight for. We came and met this plant, and if as human beings, we're going to leave this planet and leave this plant. So a lot of us are worried, what about the plant? And no, this plant will see for itself and has continued to see for itself. It's for us now to align. And we are beginning as humans and as Kittians to act more plant-like. We're going to beginning to be more grounded, beginning to look for our own nutrients and beginning to find our roots and know our roots. And that's what a plant does.
But I guess the wider question is, where are the other Caribbean countries in respect to cannabis? And where are us here as Kittians as it pertains to cannabis? Like you was in Antigua.
Right.
And I'm guessing you're going to St. Vincent. Last year you went to...
Don't guess, yeah.
Last year you went?
Yeah.
Last year you went, and this year you will be there.
Yeah.
So that shows some sort of movement.
Correct.
So where are they and where are us?
Okay. I'm going to take it back to what I referenced earlier. At the point when I decided that we wanted to do a festival, I remember sitting with you and trying to put that vision across to that. It can't just be a conference. If you Google cannabis conference, and you can be amazed at what would come up, and you can't compete or even come close to anything there. What we do as a Caribbean people is we get together and we become festive. And one of the things that we don't understand is within festivity we learn a lot. Like every music festival, I learn a new artist, learn some new songs, meet some new people, all within that festive session there. So a lot of times we think learning is sitting down behind a computer, behind a desk. So one of the things I really wanted for it in a festive spot. And again, why was I at the point where I'm the CEO, having to turn to Nubian for not only to bounce my idea for financing and for handling the game? All that we could have discussed in that one meeting. So I said that to say that sometimes we're looking for administrators and authorities to do the job that we're already very capable of doing. Because Nubia myself, one of my IT networks, one of my blockchain networks, all of us got together and organized a festival and just did it within our limitations and got it off. So much so that name, Cannabis, that we named it, without anybody else seeing around it, the vibe that I created, everybody, like the other two festivals within the Caribbean, named themselves Cannabis and asked us if they could.
Wow.
That's how impactful it was. And again, we really didn't have lots of guest speakers, so we used technology to get that in. And I had two brave souls in Nubian and Banky. And you see them being brave now again. So again, I just trying to show you how cycles repeat. That you were the brave ones at that point. To not only say, this could happen.
When was this?
About 2 years ago, December, we're in 2005, 2023. 2023.
22 or 24?
Like
But
up to
to me, it was
24.
last
Last year was 20. No, it was the year before.
The year before? Okay, cool. Yeah.
So
Yes,
it's been 2 years.
Yes,
It's been 2 years.
correct, yes.
Because at that point, the Medical Cannabis Authority was still in the office of the Prime Minister.
Yes, okay,
Right.
cool.
That's when we did the first one at the Marriott.
Yeah.
And again, I swore on that because it was for 2 days as well, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And on those 2 days, I swear we would get locked down at some point because with the quality of herb that we had in the Marriott, it smelled throughout the Marriott.
Yeah.
And I can remember one incident, like because we were just getting it done at the point, so we weren't even thinking about the records we were breaking. So at one point, I'm speaking to Banky and one because Nobin is already on the ground, and I wanted an indoor setup and an outdoor setup. We wanted an indoor and outdoor setup. So Banky was the outdoor expert and was bringing that from Nevis. So right then and there, we had a federal movement already. So he brings us across on a truck and drives right up to the Marriott in the front, instead of at the back where we had negotiated. So I'm about to tell him, well, bring it on to the service entrance, and he said, no, brethren, I done here at the front.
Don't do this.
So yeah, and like, he caught me in that moment, like
No.
I'm the one going all the time. No, guys, we got
No.
we in the future, and he then had to just pull up on me, like no. So I'm go, and you know the bellboy and that what's it called, the little cat,
trolley, yeah. The suitcase
So
trolleys.
we have five large plans, because it's more than that. Heading it in, and we're going in, right? And like it's the most normal thing ever. And is at that point I'm understanding that a lot of it, like not a lot of it, all of it is just mental. Because before it was illegal before, now it's not legal, and we're trying to understand how is it legal and how does it fit within the paradigms of normality. But at the same time, it's because it's never been normal. How they've been treating this plant, and everybody that's been involved with this plant has never been normal, and society and the whole has been the abnormal ones. So right then there, we're just normally carrying plants to the Marriott, normal. And we didn't even realize. I'd stop at one point and say, guys, we're making history. You're going to have to do a video. Because we were, again, pushing this plan through. And if anybody noticed, we're like, yeah. And again, it shows some level of ignorance. And said a lot of persons might not have known those are cannabis plants, even though they have an inbred hatred and despise for the plant. Most people can't recognize it as a normal plant. Most children can't.
Wow.
So, just to finish your question, I think all the islands are poised if you have that true political will, and not just the political will, because it has to be prioritized. Because again, I'm saying that we're moving from something that we were generations, we were taught that this was abnormal, disastrous, take you to hell. The church was against it, everybody was against it, to now we're saying it's very normal, and it's not only normal, it's good for you. That's a paradigm shift. Maybe not for Nubian, not for Jamie, not for Garfield, but for most person that is. And I'm not saying that we need to crutch them all the way through. But for that to happen, the powers that be have to be forthright and have to be honest and transparent and put down the rules.
Because we came from an era where, and I could recall my personal experience, where my grandma, she would sit on she landing, and you see somebody pass up the street and aim to fire him in the head. Mamty, he smoke weed now?
Correct.
Because he gone crazy. And the only thing could sell him crazy is weed. He smoked some dope. He smoked some
just
weed.
about to, not even correct you, because sometimes we're not using the word weed, it's grass or dope.
Yes.
And dope ain't originally
drugs.
attached to cannabis in no way, no. Yeah, that come from heroin and those type of things. So it was just alignment and a lumping together of everything. So that's a very good point that Nobia made, that you would have gotten up in the era. So even now when we're saying legal and it's legal, the persons who can't go to the parents and say, this is the job, or this is the plant that I want to go for the rest of my life. I'm interested in this plant.
Correct.
I can't cart with a book inside my house with it. Yeah.
And we can see the changes with from generation to generation, because I could never go to my mother with a conversation like that, right? But for my daughter, that is something normal. She sees that, she doesn't understand. It's like, it's just the norm, right? So we are seeing the changes, and those changes have come in large part because people decided not to give up. People decided to push the status quo, push and lobby for certain things. I want to speak a little bit about the legislation, because within everything we operate within certain parameters. So what does the legislation say at this current time? And do you think we are where we're supposed to be as it relates to legislation?
First part, the first part of the question is way above my pay grade. The AG's the AG's office will have to come in and really walk people through this, and in a very structured way, because again it's super complicated. And again, this is one, and I could say this now. This is one of the things where I had to step down from the job. Outside of other things, the main thing was me having to. It's almost like I'd have to come in and put on a hat and assume one mentality, and then when I'm going out the door, assume another. Because again, with these laws, a lot of them are human constructs. When it comes to the actual plant and the plant and the plant, like for example, like a lot of the rules in agriculture, you think the farmer basically is worrying about that. That's why you have so much clashing with maybe the agriculture department and the farmers, because when you get into the bureaucracy of it, you go further and further away from reality. And a farmer, there's nobody that deals with reality more than the farmer in terms of rain, soil, putting something in the plant, and you will get this. So I don't think we have a program where I could walk through and tell you where we are, but I could tell you generally, St. Kitts, by the rules that have already been enacted, St. Kitts is one of the freest nations when it comes to the plant.
Okay.
So in terms of what Nubian's saying, I'm saying in terms of what we have legally on paper and what we're doing, the disparity between the two may be the issue. And again, that could be worked out at any point. That just has to be prioritized. I'm not sure if this administration is prioritizing cannabis. In St. Vincent, and we could go through it individually. In St. Vincent, it's in the office of the Prime Minister, so it gets a different activity, a different focus. Like I said, it was there when we came here, but none of myself and the minister never wanted it there because, again, it's a plant. So one of the benefits of being in the Caribbean, and I saw while I was in that position, is seeing the different variations and how the different islands go about it. So if we do it in a collective fashion, it doesn't matter who is doing what, where. Once we're able to say, hey, I think we made a mistake. It should be here. And then we adjust. And I think that's what we're getting closer and closer to. So laws and the enactment of laws and how people act and the attitude towards the laws, as you can see, it's a social jigsaw puzzle. Because again, we have laws in the books today that people don't even take on, and we don't police and we don't enforce. So it's all a matter of enforcement. And again, when it comes to a plant, there shouldn't be no enforcement, because I never see no farmer get banged up for tomato because he planted the wrong tomato, because he planted tomato out of season. So
but we're still seeing farmers be arrested for cannabis. And we're still seeing that.
We see that. And you know what I just saw? I just saw a group of rascals in Jamaica going to the police station to collect their weed after they fought for it. So again, and this is something I always say to anybody when it comes to the plant, and even on generally in sovereignty, you're always going to have bad actors in the police force, in the nursing, in teaching.
Everywhere.
It's how, and I don't even want to say hold them accountable, because I'm of the firm opinion now that you can't hold people accountable. Each of us have to hold ourselves accountable, but we have standards. So, and laws are our representation of standards. So if we have a law that says, no, you can't, then you just have to challenge it. So that's why the collectivism of us. So somebody could go, and a DBDB police boy could go in anybody's yard and break the law, because that's what he's essentially doing. But if we come together and challenge that, if your neighbor say, hey, me really a big fan of the plant here, but nobody's supposed to do that, because he might come in your yard for weed, he might come in my yard for something else. Unless we have that level of collectivism and community action, people can do us as they like. And as you've been seeing what's been happening, people have been doing us as petitions as they like. And at this point, like even with the plant, we talk a lot about the rascals, but even everyday citizens had a big fight, like the only persons with locks on their head that had to fight with the winner, because there are persons who've been bothered all their life and are firm lovers of the plant and want to participate with it and face the same oppressions. So as much as we big up the rastas, there are other persons too. So everybody feels it. And sometimes you don't even have to be a rasta. You could just be a family member or a child of a rasta. And once that oppression that you think we know where it touches you indirectly, because so many fathers were put away. Even some mothers were placed in jail. Even some children, when the mother decided, hey, this is the way I want you to lead your life, heads were cut. People were given shaving. So these were lots of time people were stepping on their human rights, the religious rights, the spiritual rights of persons, and calling it the law. Even when they forced us to cut our hairs in school. At the same activity used to happen in prison. You get your hair scraped off when you reach in there. So when you look at the comparison between prison and school and how we continue to treat each other, because who in the schools is not Peace Corps, is mothers just like you who have children sometime in your class. So when we see this kind of passive behavior that we deal with every day and call it normal, yeah, we gotta smoke some herb.
You know, Jamie?
I hear. I don't know if I'll take the advice, but I hear.
Okay, then.
But even if you do, you burn incense. You burn other plant matter, you burn clothes. That's like when people look at like the smoking of the plant or the smoking of the herb as if it's something incredulous or dark. When we do that every day, when we burn coals is plant matter.
No, but you know what does make me laugh all the time? You could find people stand up in front of a barbecue stand with a lot of smoke for 15, 20 minutes and inhale that and don't have a problem with it. And they stand up next to someone in a space and the person is smoking, and as soon as you could differentiate that, well, that ain't barbecue smoke, that's weed smoke. All of a sudden your asthma and your sinus and your this and your that, and it becomes a whole big song and dance at the end of the day. So it's...
But the other part I love to also highlight is to how, and I don't think we take this for granted too, we're living in the greatest time ever because we're on the radio station promoting. Because that's how people are going to see it, right? Promoting. And in times past, you either couldn't do it or that would be locked off, or Junior will be facing all sorts of things. Not saying that is gone, but I'm saying we're in a landmark world now where that can't happen. We're in a landmark world where I could say persons, you could have a dibby police bar jump in your yard, but it's what you can do, there are actions that you can take. Because the AG and the Agriculture and the Minister of Agriculture have come on radio publicly and stated
but I think freedom
what the law is.
I think freedom really opened the doors for that, though.
Of course.
Because I remember Juni pushing this way back as early as 15 years ago when we first started, right? And people at that time were like, why this man up there talking about weed? You know, why this man pushing this on the radio? And I remember
get the age-old thing. You gotta be Juni head ain't good, man, because that is our I want to tell me, because this is important. The enablers, because in our society we talk about the crime but we don't talk about the enablers, who could be the parents, the friends, the people who profit from it. We don't talk about the enablers. And one thing, I call them enablers slurs. Two things enablers like to do and show and label people with is crazy and lazy. Crazy and lazy. And if you look at it, what has always been attached to the plan? That it makes you slow down and you don't want to do work. When I'm telling you, if you research the history, this is a simple Google search, that plant was introduced by the Indians in Jamaica and in this area, the indentured workers, because it made them work. The first time that was imported in the region, the first cannabis license was issued in Jamaica, and the suppliers were some Jews in India that was sending cannabis because they realized that the workers worked better after they come down from a hard day of work. And that's how the Rastas from being around Saudis, Indian indentured workers, what this plant did to them and incorporated them in their religious and other practices. That's how we came in. So it's nothing near a plant that makes you lazy. The stereotypes that's attached to it
crazy.
Are crazy, because again, when I studied medicine, I remember going to Jamaica and even here I used that diagnosis. Cannabis-induced psychosis, and most times is if the person has a history of smoking weed and we see them with some psychotic behavior, that would be the easiest diagnosis that we'd use. But later on, with opening your consciousness and realizing what you will be putting people through, I deep dive and do some more research, and then you realize that anybody that appears in front of any doctor, anybody, you could say that now, always have a deep family history. That's how you know. If there's no family history, then you know it could have been an overdose or something, or they had something to eat. But if you see that there's a family, most times when there's psychosis, or what we call people going crazy or going off or mental, there's a family history. You check your mother tell you, no, her mother used to be, you always hear those histories. So there's always a clear history of family history because that goes along hereditary lines. It's carried on by genes, not only by genes, but if you grow up in a home where your mother is psychotic, or tends to be psychotic, even when she's not, she's going to have psychotic behavior, and that's going to affect the home
It's
and
learned
you.
behavior.
Right.
So, Nubian asks where we are. And I want to kind of echo that question because I've seen advertisements. I've seen advertisements for seeds, advertisements for actual cannabis. I've seen a lot in recent times. But there seems to be some sort of, there seems to be a lack in terms of organization or this becoming an established industry. So how do we get there?
I don't think that's a question that I'll be able to answer on my own at all, guys. Even while via and in the position, I always felt that I needed to be we needed to provide a more all-inclusive answer to that, and one all-inclusive pathway to that was the establishment of the board, because again, the board should bring in different mindsets, different networks in, different support mechanisms when you get these group of persons together. So that was the first step in regards to doing that. So, and with the further establishment of the board and the understanding that these board members understood that this would be a different paradigm and a paradigm shift, moving on from there, then we could answer that question. But at this point, I can't honestly or fairly try or attempt to answer that question, like how we be doing forward. Because like I said, I'm always about collectivism. A lot of that will be impacted by what we're doing, what we can do as a region. Because again, if we think just St. Kitts and about establishing an industry in St. Kitts, it won't happen. Because again, we tend to forget that when we use the English language and we say things like we're establishing an industry. So what was going on before? When did that stop?
It was
an
industry. It was an industry.
So there's something that's still, not even something that's still going on, because you might have out certain fires or whatever the case may be, but there are persons who are still trafficking, there's persons who still have issues, there are persons who want to operate and can't get in because even certain aspects of the law are resisting them. So there's a lot of those grey areas. I think those grey areas shouldn't be observed and elucidated by person on the outside. I think we're a small nation, and as a result, we can use that as an advantage and really start to talk to the persons who are already active in it, because those will be the drivers. I don't think somebody establishing from zero, or even somebody farming and never establish a collective or co-op, or don't understand, or is willing to cooperate or form a cooperative, is ready to grow cannabis at the quality level. And again, bear this in mind, there are persons who don't mind things staying out there, because there are persons who are spreading rumors that they're making less now. But that will happen because if you open up a plant and say, hey, this is fit to everybody has access, people are going to find that access to themselves. So you're going to have...
That's simple economics.
Yeah, you're going to have less consumers because people know have become...
and not only less consumers, but you have more product. Because...
Correct.
Whereas I might not have planted...
Correct.
10 years ago, I might decide I want to plant now, right? And I don't mean me, but...
No, man, you don't have to get defensive about it.
No, I'm just letting them know.
You in the church.
Because they like to take things out of context, right? But I may not have planted, but now everybody feels comfortable planting, everybody feels comfortable having in their yard, right? So, of course, you're going to sell
Jamie,
this.
and that I thought that there's a more of a shift from, just like you said, there are persons who are planting for themselves, but I think there's more of a shift of persons now who are consuming more than those who converted to planters. Whereas because there's less stigma for them now, and with the popping up of it being a little bit more liberal and less taboo, there are persons now who are getting out in the area and can supply those demands. So again, we really have to get down on the ground and get our data. I refuse, and this is one of the things I was practicing even there, to get up and be quoting data off the internet or quoting Jamaica alone. I was big, and even when we did
Correct.
The Cannabis Festival, you know.
Yeah, we
Even
got
without
data.
us consulting, we were doing questionnaires. Nubim himself were doing questionnaires. So we have all that valuable data. It was, what are we going to do with it next? Those were the discussions we were having. And how does this data compare to other places? Because we now had a network to be able to cause that. So we were really diving into the IT aspect of it and those other places there.
We know, well, the spiritual aspect of it that comes with the Rasta religion, per se. And we know how society viewed it then and what it is seen as now. I have a few questions. One of the questions is, what do we say to persons? Because I've heard it before, where a Rasta man would say, oh, we're going to fight for this thing all my life, and pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, and now it seems as though the government stepping in to commercialize it. And so it shifts from you sending me to prison to say, well, yeah, we're going to commercialize it, and everybody could make money off of it. And with the tone of that conversation, it seems like there are certain persons now that have a problem with it being legalized. So what do you say in that case? And I would like you to expound on, because we like to throw around this diversification word loosely. Can cannabis be used to diversify our economy economically? Right. And then I have a few more questions, but we could get into that. Yeah.
Those bigs. Let me. I can tell you my experience, because again, what I've been practicing is, rather than pull things from other people's experience, a lot of my reasoning and my explanations gonna be from my past experience. So, I remember getting this position and thinking I had to be destined for this, not just my medical background, but just all I'd seen and all I'd been through at that point. And I know for me, fundamentally, when I assumed that position, it was no, I got all these Rastas with me. We must do a good job. And a lot of the pushback I was getting with some of the Rastas, because again, when I say Rastas, a lot of people identify as Rasta, but who we view as Rasta is different for everybody, individually. Right? So even within Rastafari and even between different Rastas, the approach to the plant is different. Some people just see it as a commercial product. Some people see it as a truly spiritual product. So an experience I had is that when we started moving, I really wanted them to be in every meeting, to have a say at every point, because I saw them as the persons in the vanguard who never had a say, who got the worst beating, and they should be paramount. But what I learned soon after that, is some Rastas, and this goes across our society, some persons are not very much about moving to the next level, as in it's been a fight and they want to continue fighting. So it's almost, I think I heard one of my ex-girlfriends use the analogy, they keep moving back the goalpost. So, and I'll give you one typical example, because I remember taking the AG down to Gideon Force Farms, because that for me, that's the spiritual center, that's the center, that's one of the corps, and that's where they congregate. And it was important for me that the AG goes there, because all times before in history, Rastas had to go to the AG's office or go up as if they're begging and wait outside his long hours. So, and again, take my hat off to God. He was all for that. He picked me up and all. He picked me up from my house and we drove down in his car and we were discussing the points going down as to how what exactly we were going on to do and how we go about it. Had a great discussion with those guys. And at another point, we met with them again, and another point he went separately without me. And I sat in a meeting where members of a Rastafari group were trying to tell me that they weren't involved in the discussions and this thing was just done without. And I had to remind them not just of our discussions with the AG, but before, and the inclusion of Rasta on the commission and all the way up, because again, the reason why I thought I was so, Yeah, almost destined for that because, again, during the whole fight lead up, I was a part of that.
Right.
So it was strange, even in that position and hearing some of the criticisms that people would say, like, I in the system and I got to remind them again because I'm great at reminding people that I was just in the vanguard with you, know. It's only a title they've given me, but the same, like, misgivings and the same unsurety that you had, I still have. I'm just now in a power position that I could bring you in. And we could, and make you part of the discussions that we work this up. But I've sat across some persons who think that now that you're in a position, you got to tell me what to do, and you should have answers. And again, we've been reminding them.
Half an hour
Just
ago.
a while ago over by you, bro. I was just over there, man. You were over there fighting the same man. Remember, I had even more passion than you. So you again, sometimes I'm watching across some person and asking me like, where that passion was.
Yeah.
For this fight, where like we were over there together, and that passion was me. So the passion now is here for me because again, I could always look at it as people have great expectations, but I don't mind great expectations of me, but they can be unrealistic. Because if they're unrealistic, I'm gonna have to check you. Yeah, I have to check you because then me moving on and giving the impression that I could follow through on these unrealistic expectations is only gonna hurt you and me.
Yes.
So those are some of the things that I did with in terms of yeah, I don't want to, it's not hypocrisy, but dealing with that because again, I always believe, and this is something that you and I always talk about again, leadership in the position or the title and even the persons following you, because sometimes you follow and you feel like you're the leader, it's those difficult decisions and those times when you have to check persons because at those moments is when you know, hey, I could carry this person with me, are this debate or this meeting even valid?
Right. Is that you're an asset or your liability at the end?
Right. And then you know, and then again, one of the greatest things ever is going through war. Because if you're really going through war, you understand what is peace. Because you're long faith, you want to come out of it. There are some persons who just want a vicious cycle of to be the victor or to be pounding on a person. I don't like that. I go to war for peace. And whenever I arrive at peace, like you could get me into war. If it's for peace, I'm not just going to war for war's sake.
Right.
So now that we now that we have the laws that allowed us in, is what we're going to build or what we're going to do now that we're in. Some people still want to fight. So I've had to push back, and not just Rasta groups, other groups, and talk about, what are you going to do now? The law is there that says you could own 5 plants. Why are you making nice for 10? Where are your 5 plants? So there are persons without 5 plants making nice that it should be 10. There are persons who come into me and telling me the government ain't doing this, and they're making great points, they're not doing this, and they've never farmed. They've never taken that risk of, meaning reaching to the point where lock up and I'm talking, never taken the risk of actually growing the cannabis plant, whether during legal time or now, and are making the loudest noise. Yeah. And those persons need to be put in check. Just as much as I need to lobby behind the government and ensure that they do things, and we need to do that, there's also the other part of putting certain persons in check because they are not ready yet.
Yeah.
And this all-inclusive, and that's another thing where you always have what we have with our politicians. It can't be all-inclusive because, like I said, if we're going to build an industry, I'm just going to use the phrase, it has to be people who already have skin in the game, who've already about it, because those are the persons that could sit across them and say, Nubian, what's been your data for the past 2 weeks or 2 years? Nubian, whoever, what have you done? What are the mistakes we made? Because we're going to learn as a result of those mistakes. You can't come tell me, I've been making this and making that. I don't want to hear about that because there are persons outside and within the region making much more than that and much more easier than you. I want to hear what your mistakes are. Your mistakes will be unique to St. Kitts, unique to La Amiga, unique to Molyneux, unique to Phillips's. So when I speak to persons who are going and on the ground, and they ask me, like, when you can bring in the consultants and when you can bring in, and I'm telling them, you are the consultant already. Even before we get to the point, I'm not saying that you're not failing in certain areas, but I need to hear from you. You're already a consultant. You're already an expert. Every grower here who has had skin in the game, who has gotten locked up for it, you already have a PhD. It's just not a PhD that others could go to a university and get. You already have a PhD. And anybody that comes to you that wants to build an industry, anybody that comes to you as a minister, has to regard and value that data that you have within you.
Right.
So that is the test. You're going to test your agriculture minister. You're going to test your representative by how much they value you and what you bring to the table. You don't only bring a vote. Diversification. What do we diversify in farm? Because again, when I grew up, we want sugar. We said we diversified from that
to tourism.
To tourism, and tourism is not the product that's sustaining us. It has never been, and it never will, because I'll give you a carry back you to home. If your mother was hosting people every day, there's no way she could feed you. I know where the home could function, because every minute she'd be catering to guests, and we mothers, I could only speak, I could speak for Jamie's mother too. For the guests when they're going in the cabinet and bringing out some of the best beers and them things there. And that's
why you only eat from a Sunday time.
Yeah. And
Not
again,
even a Sunday time.
not even a Sunday
Christmas.
time. Christmas are when specific guests are in.
Yeah, when the guests come.
From where are certain people come. That is our approach. That's how our government should approach things too as well. That it can be, it's all inclusive, that everybody should get. You should be able to say no. There's that uncomfortable no that determines whether you are leading or if you're just you're papi chulo. You have to have that no, because I'm telling you, I've seen persons walk away hating me and respecting me more for that no. For that uncomfortable no. It can't happen. Gotta respect you, you mean you want me face and time?
Right.
What about all the other times? I said, that's the answer there. What about all the other times? And I said, yes. This is in a no, so you're showing me who you are. And you are not anyway, the diversification. So we really don't have anything to diversify from. So we first have to find ourselves as Kittians. What has been our product? Even as an agricultural space, what has been our product? Cane was forced on us. But outside of cane, I think it was known for nuts. Nevis was known for cotton. Nevis was known for fish. St. Kitts was known for arts and craft, conch. So the agricultural products are not just what we see on TV now. Agricultural products are what we are, what creates our livelihood. We have to stop creating, and that's what tourism does. It makes us create a sense of poverty, because we gotta look like we're still in colonial times. Are we hotels? We maids have to dress up as if they're still serving like the planters. And these we natural dress, we natural food has to go back to slavery. And then we're gonna fly to France and say we are foodies and eat 20 different things in one day, and then start every conversation with natural dishes, corn and dumpling, or chicken and everything there is imported, because flour to make the dumplings is imported. So again, that's what I'm saying. What are we diversifying from? We have to really form ourselves firmly how are we diversifying. So in terms of diversification could only happen on a regional level, because again, this is something I've spoken extensively. All our infrastructures are still archaic and are based on sugar, the expectation of a raw material. So on the other end, our ports are facilities of total import. So even when we say we're gonna export food, exporting food is more complex than that. It needs infrastructure to export. We have a train system here, and again, tourism. We give to white people, they must come and have fun on it. And that could be carrying things from TDC for like 2 cents, $2. You could get, like, I couldn't believe the train was going to those altitudes and having those views and seeing parts of the island I never seen. I think I was an adventurous little boy. That train took me on, like, I was amazed, blown away. I've been on it like 3 times. The only problem I have, I'm going to talk about the problem, but you know what my problem going to be. Yeah, the alienation and the stigma. But that train, that's an asset that we have there that we don't even see ourselves as being valuable. People to say, that train ain't sinking, it's not functioning for us. So we're happy to put the children out, to wave take one white people on it, but we don't say, hey, that could be moving army steel. Like you could have a depot, like just not even TDC, like you could move so much stuff. You could talk about earth, land, rock. It wouldn't have to be moved by trucks and have those issues that we have. I'm saying who wants it right away or in a specific zone could, but the poor people or somebody that's saying, hey, I could take my time and build, that could be moving that. We could have an active train system rather than one that somebody left. If we build things from scratch for us, we wouldn't have to maintain them. A lot of what the maintenance we're doing are archaic colonial structures. Because they were left for us, we maintain them. We've never built them and construct them from scratch for us, so we don't rebuild. We do our maintenance because that's what we've been doing since the Britain were in charge of us. They'll send down a little money and maintain the hospital, maintain. Because they were doing more extraction. So again, I always ask people, so we still have a civil service that's based on extraction. Where there's extraction on workforce, brain drain, it's extraction. That has never changed.
And an education system that trains you for that.
And trains you for that. For factories. And we no longer even have an industrial site. And we're training our students the same way, the same bell, the same schedules. for school. And if they go prison, they right at home. Because the teachers them ain't no different from the prison warden. Yeah, ain't no different from the prison warden. So the diversification is again going to be another catchphrase like fair share. Where it's just something bantered about, but really doesn't have any substance or
It's a
context.
dog whistle, really and truly. It's something that evokes passion
Emotion.
and emotion from the people.
Fear
But,
and anger. Those are the two emotions.
when you think about
that
it, you nothing. You don't see anything coming from the fair share argument has been around for how long? And they're going to be around.
Well,
Because-
it was there in terms of a mentality and people, and because for you to be fair, I want to share, you mean that somebody's being unfair to you and you ain't getting your share.
Exactly.
So that notion has always been
so.
around.
And once you feel that you were not getting your share, then a politician could come and play on that
Correct.
at any time
Point.
because you feel neglected,
You feel
right?
you've
So
been-
you play on that emotion.
Correct. And again, I don't know if you all realize the plant. Because if it's not the plant, it's going to be the bottle. And if it's not the bottle, it's going to be the injection or the drug of some sort. Human beings are wired for addiction because we are wired by emotions. So if our main emotions are fear and anger, at some point fear and anger isn't productive, but it's still there. So we then have to get higher.
It's there because we instill it.
Right. So that is, so people talk about the status quo. The status quo ain't just high and low, you know. The status quo is drive, disease, and ease. Because again, when we go to life, into ease, we mind to say, so why are we diseased? Or why are we not easy that we have to go to a session that's blasting music and meet other people, maybe sometimes meet strangers, to feel at ease? Why we need to go away from the country to France, Paris, to feel at ease? That means our nation,
Amongst
where
the
we
same
live,
people
is
who enslave
disease.
Listen.
We want to open up the lines.
And listen, it's late already. It's
I
2:31.
know that's how fast the conversation does go.
Yes, yes.
But
Jimmy got water sponsor. Oh yeah.
the
stand.
We're gonna work on it.
is there business opportunities to be had for young people that they can invest and create generational wealth?
In terms of with cannabis, you mean?
Yes.
Again, that question is above my pay grade. Like that was a better question. For the
Suppose
Minister
I am
of
a
Agriculture.
youngster on the street and I come to you and I say, Doc, I would like to get into the cannabis industry. I want a family. I want children. I want to live a normal life. Would you advise me to invest in the cannabis industry? And do you think if I put in my all, I will be successful? Because a lot of times what does happen is that we want to, and it's not only about cannabis, it's about every other thing. We don't even want to put any investment into it, whether it be our time, our effort, our resources, but we want to extract 1,000,000% profit. A lot of us want to, even in the cannabis industry, we want to pick out some seeds out the weed, plant it, and then go and check on it once or twice, and then in our mind, what we want to do is do 15 truckload of harvest and come down and it sell magically and we just
No
get rich
work.
all without the proper investment. As I said, whether it be time, effort, money, research, anything at all. But the point is, if a youngster come and asks, if I put in my time, put in the correct investment, can I create generational wealth? Can I sustain myself in the cannabis industry with all parameters giving you a thumbs up? Legal framework, everything in place. Should a youngster look at that as a viable option to take care of his family? We ain't talking about getting high. We ain't talking about smoking and doing whatever all day. Talking about making cannabis a viable form of sustenance and support for my family.
It's interesting I asked my question because I never is when you're going through it, I realize that is a question I've been battling with myself. So, yeah, and I've had a few young men come to me, a few women to come to me and ask me that same question. And it's interesting because I've answered it differently each time.
Right.
But again, for me, a lot of that has to do with them. Like in answering a question now, I don't have a broad answer for every question. It's all, again, because some persons have just shut down because they're not even ready yet and they ain't even ready for the answer. Or they haven't proven to me that they have what it takes. But I'm in a frame of mind now where I don't shut down dreams. Because even in the failure of those dreams, you learn so much because I learned so much in failing. Because so much things I went after and went at and failed at. That those were greater lessons to me than even the things that I was successful at. Because in areas where I'm successful, I'm going to cruise.
Right.
I might push it, but I'm going to cruise because it becomes kind of easy. But in the areas where I feel it leaves me with a deep sense of, not regret, but assessment. Of, boy, why did I make that choice? Was that caused by somebody else? Where was I at fault? Whereas before I'd have been more like, it's the environment, it's so and so. But now I'm more now at the center and asking myself like, wait, what was this teaching me? What thought I was ready for that I wasn't ready for? But to go even deeper on your question, I think now, and Jamie said it earlier when she mentioned her daughter, we don't have to have the answers for everything. Our children are right behind us with the answers. We have to think of this life as more of a relay. So I'm more about creating that environment. So even like radio station that I've just come to say what I feel like, how I feel like, rather than not thinking I needed to prepare how it sounds or even listening to it afterwards. Because I know what I say will resonate with somebody out there who needed it. And when they needed it, at some point they're either going to farm me or do what they need to do for us to make the change and we need to see happening. It's just that people just need that resonation and know, hey, me one thinking so. Oh, I thought they crazy, but I thought this world, yeah. Once you start speaking for me, like, your honesty, I think that's it there. And a lot of persons come to me and I could tell them, like, the plans them sound outlandish, but they are so genuine in their efforts. I know they're going to find a way, so I don't turn them away. And I think for cannabis, like I told you about how we're realizing now, you see now people you go on the internet, people are more psychedelic now. People are more open to a lot of things that I used to call crazy before, but beads. You think waist beads is just sexy and just women put them on? Like before somebody would think you're crazy if you had on beads around your waist. People used to think you're crazy if you use an umbrella in the day or open it up in the house and them kind of things. So a lot of things that we didn't even realize that we thought was outlandish. And the brink of craziness, with send you crazy, those people are doing now. People are even living, there are people who are living after influencing me by.
Yeah.
And the internet people are paying them. Now I'm saying that is not a lot. They give you this impression that it's a lot. But there are a lot of persons who are trying to be influencers all the place and breaking their own hearts and their pockets. So you see it where people understand now it's not so much about where you are, but you can impact anybody anyway, especially with social media. So people are more powerful now, but we're going to need this plant at the center of a lot more because now we're seeing more and more. It does tap into our emotions and our moods and our appetites. And for a lot of persons, that's what they've been going to the doctor for, to check their mood. They think their weight was about what they're eating, they didn't know it was about the appetite. They think the headache was about the stress, but it's really about the moods. So when they realize they could tap into this plant and others, because there's also mushrooms, and there's also a smorgasbord of other things that we as a people and as group, as a villages, as communities around this world have been using to detach and to weed through our emotions. So I'm saying this plant is going to become more and more pivotal. So sometimes you're going to you might not want a doctor, but you might just somebody who just cooks it. And depending on your mood, they cook it for you. And that by itself might be a whole job. They're going to have persons, especially in the plant, like my vision is just to be able to be on, instead of a pharmacy, it's FARM. C. So I'm not talking about weed alone because some people may just need, for that day, a meal.
Correct.
I'll give you a clear example of...
Or just to be on the farm.
Right, good. I'll give you a clear example. I went into this young man in Barbados and he gets up on a given day. And where he is his business. So, for example, he decides he's going to get up and do breakfast and he's doing vegan meal and he does that and he sends out the blast and he makes it to himself. I just space for 4 people. But because people are so pending and want to be near him or be near his space or smoke his herb because I know him, but his life is his job. As in today, he could sell 4 breakfasts and get up and do breakfast on his own and decide, all right, lunch, I'm going to do lunch, but I deliver it. Or they could come to my space. He determines each day what mood he's into, and he could monetize it as he sees fit. There are going to be more and more persons who do that because AI can structure you there.
Yes.
And people could call in and text in, and you could have that. So you could have a doctor who decides, all right, I'm on a doctor 1 day per week for 2 hours. And that creates a demand because, again, what he offers or what he wants, because he's connecting with his patients. So our world is going to change. And it's going to be very different. So I've started fighting with a lot of these today people. Because they might not even be around.
Okay, Jamie, let's take a small
commercial break.
Yes, and get back
And
into
we'll
the
be right
discussion.
back. Second and Nevis, get ready to celebrate. Freedom FM is turning 15 years strong, and we're thanking you for rocking with us all the way long.
From Bastille to the world, Freedom FM has been radio at its very best. News, music, vibes, and voices that matter.
That's 15 years of bringing you the hottest hits, real talk, and breaking stories that shape the nation.
And we're just getting started. Join us this month as we celebrate 15 years of fearless broadcasting, on air, online, and beyond. Happy 15th anniversary, Freedom FM, world-class radio at its best, powered by you, the people.
We are pop champagne non-stop.
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
From the bench to the palm of your hand, Betgate Sports brings to you iGaming, the ultimate dual gaming experience. Sports and iGaming in one powerful platform, live and legal. Tap your screen, place a bet, spin the reels, cash out fast. No delays, pure excitement. BetCageSports.com. Download the app and sign up today. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and over. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies, where a percentage of every dollar played with Cage goes to Windies for cricket and cricket development.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastille St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Back to school shouldn't meet you unprepared. St. Kitts Credit Union's Back to School Loan helps you borrow up to $10,000 with flexible repayment plans, fast approval, supportive terms. Invest in your child's future with confidence, because every child deserves a strong start. Start today at www.skccu.com or call 465-2272. SKCU, invested in their future with you.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
And we are back at 2:44 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. This is Hot Topics Live on a Tuesday afternoon. We always try to bring you the hot topics. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. That's 465-0546, 662-1065, or 465-6474. This afternoon's topic is cannabis, and our guest is Dr. Garfield Alexander. We've had an entire conversation and we said, who do we guess? We didn't name the guest, but he is so known in St. Kitts and Nevis and to our Freedom audience that we really didn't need to. I'm certain that everybody knows. Everybody would know just by hearing his voice.
I was checking the Facebook feed, and there is someone that asks for a number for the diaspora and how to reach me. And that number, we have a dedicated number for that, and it is 766-1711 for those persons in the diaspora that would want to reach out personally. It's a private line, so it's 766-1711. That's 1711. 766-1711.
Okay, so for those of you who want to reach out to Nubian, you may do so using that number. I'm going on the Facebook feed as well because the lines are quiet. Someone says Nubian is the right man. He will take. Okay, they're quoting the song. They're quoting the song. But Nubian, did you say last week you was going to address the Special Sustainability Authorization Bill 2025? Just checking. You did say that, but you didn't say when.
No, we didn't say when. Yeah, that within itself is a whole different conversation.
It's a very hot topic right now,
right?
Especially after last night. Beatrice,
but hold on, I want to intervene on that one. Not to speak to it directly, but Nubian, when we went down to Sandy Point, the time when what was that area called?
Yeah,
that's essentially what we were trying to create at the time.
In Sandy Point, La Valley.
No, it was the Taiwanese farm down there.
Remember, it's the
Eco Park.
Eco Park, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So even if that was denied, that was the idea we were coming with. So again, what we don't have is like we have the same.
Hold on there.
Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Bless up. Yeah, Jamie, you know me, Rebel.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm cool. And you'll be and the other guest here. You know you're a Rebel, right? Julian.
Hey.
He didn't hear
you. You know Rebel, right?
No.
You know me, man. You own the man.
You know
Morning Avenue.
Okay.
You know me, man. I know your mother. I know your, you know.
You're from the old school?
Yeah, man.
You know him.
Man.
I can tell you who he is. Yes.
You know me, man. I see you go up now. I know your father and everything.
Okay.
You know, so you're supposed to be from a kind of religious and spiritual background, but you choose politics. But you're saying you're not a politician, so I don't know if you're the black activist, you know, because you stick you into politics and you say, you know, you're not a politician.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let me go back to the cannabis, because you know, really people here in St. force people in primitive time to smoke ganja, right? Smoke weed. So I could to you. Yeah, because you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you're speaking about ganja, right? Conversation with ganja, the opening or the end, you must talk about the creator, His Majesty, because the herb was created by a man. The herb just didn't come so. And we, as Rastafari in this country, we suffer a lot of pain for this ganja. And I alive today, to see the fruitfulness of the ganja, right? Because we get dreadlocks cut off, we get beaten up by the police, we being run off for 4th Street because 4th Street was the hard place for us to be, and they running us. We should go to Jamaica on the federal farm and the federal maple to get the wisdom knowledge overstanding, the real world. Over the company and the stop Rastafari begging from traveling these two boats. You know about that?
Yes, man.
I'm doing some history, man. Yeah, so. The herb, it's a great, great, great tree. I know we got many trees, right? So, when we're talking about ganja and the kind of profit and the money that they're making with it right now, I think the AG should go back and look at the crime and call in real people who suffer under those circumstances and ask us what went down. I could let him know a lot of things because we suffer a lot. You walk in the street with the kids and police beat you up and cut off your head and cut off your hair rather than at your head, cut off your hair. You are kind of wrong things. And then you're going to become a big market. You're going to make millions of dollars off it. So you as a young man, Dr. Joe, he tried to get it because he mother Rastafari background. But a lot of the politicians, them, they blast it too. They say they don't want it. So you have the leaders then in the society. They're the one who really keep the ganja and up people from getting education, because we educate the people here. Teach them how to speak, how to dress, how to walk, how to talk. Numb the pork and eat clean. So we the people who established them things to teaching there. So you have to give some credit here. So I'm glad you're talking there because General Powell too had talked about the herb. So you look at 3 young guys, you yourself, General Powell and Dr. Joe. Yeah, you got to take on the fight. And the young people want because you can't stop the young people right now. And final thing I want to say, a young politician, you guys have to just establish a brighter legacy, yeah? Because he died in 1978 and he has some legacy there that since the politicians take over, that's why we're suffering so much. Because if they go back to the narrative, we got to push. Be in a stronger position today, You know, right? Yeah, in the political world, because just for people, we be in a better situation. If you look at the UFC, because them all dealing with $12 you guys know we're dealing with $1.5 billion, $1 billion, $2 billion. So guys, I say, wow, man, that's so much money, man. And leave the land for us. We could use the land as commodity.
Right.
So we're going to Rastafari start a football club. You're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, man.
Because black and people going to love you more, not because you're in a different party. The younger politicians are going to play back to legacy and the people going to love you more. Doesn't matter whether you're from PAM, CCM or whatever.
Whoa.
Labor just up, but that's it, Bless up, man.
Yeah, man, you're the king. Bless up.
Thank you so much for that contribution. It is 2:52 in
It's
the
a good thing we
studios.
wait and give him patience because that was a progressive addition to the program.
Definitely,
Yeah, man.
definitely.
Because he made some important decisions.
And I haven't heard him calling before.
No. So different things call out different people. Because he spoke of the federal palm and the federal maple. And like everybody talks about the West Indies Federation as if it was an absolute failure. And we've talked a lot this afternoon about learning from the failures, but there were so many successes, like CARICOM and all those things are successes of the West Indies Federation. But more than that, we as a great nation, when Bacha came back, we went into a statehood, which was unique in the Caribbean as in St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla. Because when he came back and he failed on that level, it was called a failure level. He didn't achieve what he wanted. He decided, all right, the 3 of us are going to go at it together until 67 when Anguilla came out and we were left. That's how St. Kitts and Nevis were put together, whether forcefully or not. That was his vision that if we're not going to have all, we're going to at least have 3.
Right.
And the federal maple and the federal palm what we're trying to do now. That exchange of workforce, that movement that was already happening on the level during the West Indies Federation through those 2 boats.
Okay, let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live. Can you turn down your radio, please?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
But you're talking about ganja, right? Me ain't got a problem with ganja at all, you know. But I want to watch and see what's going on in the streets.
What's happening in the streets?
What's happening? I want to watch and see. I go up the Soigi. I'm going to see. Then I don't
Caller, you call all the way in to ask us to see? Come tell us, man. In a conversation you call for?
What is that?
I said, you call all this to have a conversation to tell us to go and see in the streets. We're here in the radio station. So tell us what you see and what you think is causing
What is it? Are you playing blind?
You didn't call for a conversation.
I mean, call for a conversation.
You call to blame.
I said, I must watch.
You're not saying anything, caller. You're asking us to watch. You're not saying anything. You're not having a conversation. You're asking us to watch. You're making it a blame game.
Okay, open up our eyes then.
Okay. Thank you so much for that contribution. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Let me tell you something, right? Sometimes you just
No, Jamie, it's not about moving on. It's a conversation that we have to have. So if persons are making assertions, let's say what the assertions are. If you're a man and you're calling a radio station to say something, say it.
Yeah, we have a caller. Good afternoon. You're live.
Greeting to you, Miss Motherwaiter.
Greetings, sir. How are you?
I'm excellent, and greeting to the 2 gentlemen in there.
Yes, man.
What's up?
So we're going on to 2 gentlemen.
Well, I'm glad to hear your voice. It's been a while since I hear you.
Listen, I expected you to be the first call.
You drop sleep again. The last week you drop sleep. This week you drop sleep again.
You all, I'm glad to hear the topic about the herb. Because I know, you know, me tell you here, I'm 59. And I started to deal with the herb in 1973. Until now. Smoking is my most important thing, but I just drink it, eat it, anything. And let me tell you, the harmless. We all come to you all, we all used to call it dope, because I used to hear them, and granja, you smoke up your granja. I used to hear them when I'm small.
Yeah, of course.
And I used to see the tree in people's yard. And you know, that time in Noah, with the police, them, you have to be careful when you get around. But in them time, they used to see it in people's yard still. And how I come by it, I went by a fella, and he had a pick off, and I went to the stick. And I went to him and I light the stick. And then I smoked the stick.
That's how it is.
And I smoked the stick. And when I don't smoke the stick, I start to laugh. I feel like I just born.
Wow.
I said, this is not the people. And from that until now, from since 1973, I'm about 50 now, you know. I may smoke until now, and not a thing happened to me. No sickness, no doctor, nothing. I may smoke with it until now. So, the gentleman in the Ugan and Pam, I want you to tell me if you all get in the next election, I want you to tell me how you are going to play with all. How you going to communicate with all with it? I want to know. So I tell you, please, if I get in, cooperate with Ari and more better and now. I mean, we got a little free time right now. No hustling from the police.
Yes.
No hustling from the police no more.
Wow.
And I thank Dr. Joe for that. Because when I used to smoke, when I see the swatter come, I swallow it down until I was. That time I used to have the swat gang. You know the SWAT gang.
Yes.
When now we see them come out, we go, swallow the joints. And nothing feel so bad. When now we don't swallow it, sometimes we auto go doctor and all. Because who are we swallowing the fire and everything.
No problem. I'll tell you exactly what to expect from a People's Action Movement government.
Okay, I want to when I come out the air because I ain't got
when you come out.
Thank you so much. No, and before you do that, let's take this call because we're short on time. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man.
Caller, you dropped out. Please call back. Okay, Sanobian.
Well,
Garfield.
Oh. I just wanted to because nothing happens just like that. I just wanted to just make a comparison between the penultimate and the ultimate caller. One caller calling the next.
You want to take it? So that
let's try. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon.
I was wondering why you disconnect.
I don't
know. Good afternoon, my friend Nobian.
Hey, good afternoon.
And good afternoon, my brother, Mr. Garfield. How you doing, my friend?
I got to know it is before I answer to brother.
Well, you're original Big Steve, so you ain't have to.
Yes, my brother. Yes, my brother. I don't want the public to hate. I don't pick up the voice, but I want the public to hate.
Wonderful topic, which now when they come on the marijuana. But the problem I have with it, but I don't think we are educating the youths about the marijuana purpose. Because here why? A lot of people blaming the marijuana. And they smoking the marijuana and it's telling you this and it's telling you how. No, it's what they use with the marijuana. A lot of people get this brown and they're buying this bone from overseas and they want the weed to be hash. The young ladies, them sometimes I see them and what the point in the weed, you want to know if it's weed they're smoking, is brown they're smoking. And we don't know what we are buying because a lot of brown that we're buying up along the place, spray with all kind of chemical. All type of chemical because some of the browns them banned in certain areas. So people get it smuggling here, there, and they sell them up so the dog or whoever don't find them, right? And they sell us because they use us as a public domain. And it go into our system. And we do a lot of harm to our system. It's not the weed, you know. It's what they use with it. And we need to educate the public on what is going on, how the weed is using. Because I was around a lady, she was 80-something when she passed away. And it's every morning she makes ganja tea. Every single morning she uses it for different things. Right? She use the ganja leaf and she do it with coconut oil and she makes a little rub and so it used for a lot of things. But a lot of people don't criticize it because of whatever reason. Yes, some people make more money than some, but they have the good. And we are not educating the youths today because anywhere you go, you see the weed light up. Not the one lighting it up, but the question when you see them pass you and you want to know, what were they smoking? What they smell so? Ain't the weed, you know. My brother, is the wherever they're putting in it to give them the fast oil. Because some man feel like what? They can't afford the next joint. So they're putting all kind of thing to make the joint fatter. Right? So that is what missing a lot of youth mind. So when the caller calling a while ago and say, look in town and see what is going on. You know what I mean? Don't attack the weed like that. Attack what is going into the weed. And we got to educate the youths the right way about the weed. That's all I really got to say because I think that we ponging on the weed. And the weed ain't the problem. It's what people put inside to get a quick fast high is the problem, my brother. Because we did a long time before me and your born, and it will ever be there. But I said, and I go out to the growers, those who planting it. Be careful with the chemicals them you guys are spraying on your weed to keep away the bugs them and all kind of insects. We have to look at what we spraying and we weed also too. Because here what happened. The chemical then we gain and we're trying to spray on the weed them and so. It also doing a damage inside our body, and we ain't looking at it neither. Some of we out there, we planting the weed and we want fast growth. Fast growth. So we spray a kind of chemical for the weed to come fast. And then look at it again. How we cook a weed smell like perfume? You got a man selling weed and you call him all kind of different names. All kind of different this is that is that. Some kind of name we never hear about. But what happened now? They smell like perfume and you got youth man smoking it. Well, how weed could smell like perfume? How you get the weed smell so? Is it wherever they're putting on the chemical, they're putting on the weed? We ask the grows them. Those who go in the weed, stop smoking the weed, all kind of nonsense, and let the weed go natural. We got the sun. We got the good soil. You understand? And we got the Lord rain. Let it go natural, stop spray it up with all kind of chemical for the weed to look good. To say that it glittering, it this, it that. Come on to attract sellers. Done with it. We're killing our four people. Thank you very much, my friend. My brother can't feel. We got to talk. One love.
Thank you so much for that contribution.
Go ahead.
Big Steve, I can say publicly, I love you, my brother. And what you're asking people to do is what you're already doing. Because the education you just put out there, the education you just put out there is all that we need, and that's all we need to do. So even the caller before, it doesn't take threats, blame. It just needs for you to express what you feel. Because the callers that came afterwards just express what they feel. The elder said he feel like he just born and never get that description ever in my life. And at the same time, he was able to carry through his own experience. He wasn't telling anybody or promoting anybody to do anything. He just was giving you what was his lived experience. And he spoke of the abuse he went through, but he also spoke of the good and how long he's been going through that. So that his experience, and anybody that's out there adulting could say, all right, that's his experience. I wonder what would be mine. I still don't want to partake, but we have to move away from where we feel like we need to intimidate people or silence people because they're not saying what we are saying. That speaks more towards fear and anger, and those are the emotions that should drive our decisions.
Okay, so I'm hearing the phone ringing, but that's not a line for the studio. Okay. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. We can take one or two more calls if the lines are quiet. No man.
Yeah, one of the callers asked about the people.
Okay, let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon again. Go up again. I'm sorry about it. I have to call again. All right?
That's okay.
Cool. Bless up. Blessing. If you look at Genesis chapter 3, verse 7, right? We say that God formed the man out of the dust of the earth and blew into his nostril the breath of life, and so man become a living soul. And he planted the garden east of Eden, Ethiopia, to put the man there to keep it. So we're looking at green vegetation. It got to be that some beautiful trees and ganja trees, but also there. So from creation, this tree was created by God. The Garden of Eden is Ethiopia. So that's something that the mothers them could look at, because the mothers them in the home too, they got to help the kids. They know the kids are smoking. There should be dress code. Ask them certain questions. What do we showing you? How you feel? What you do? What you think? You know, because being in makes you commit a crime, make you feel sleeping, and it make you meditate. It is just something probably might be tired and you fell asleep. But we also will keep you up and make you wise, and you see certain things, okay? So on the Garden of Eden, it was in a house, in a tractor, and a bus, and a phone. So it was God and man. And remember, Eve, he was naked. So the situation had to be beautiful sunlight for the bee to grow and the vegetation to exist. Bless up.
Thank you so much. Let's take, we missed that one. And, Nobel?
She did.
Okay. Good afternoon, you're live.
Mr. Lewis, me again. One more last thing, 5 minutes.
Not 5 minutes, but go ahead.
No, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I'm going to say 5 seconds.
Okay.
I hear one gentleman say that when you want to call, he give you the number.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Labour government was into, I hear them say, you could call me by the night, anytime. You could call me anytime.
I just have a feeling where this conversation is going, but go ahead.
In fact, in the night, and my Lord, that is a zero. Because no people after they call them and they don't answer the phone. So I want to know if the gentleman will do where they say, where they come tell us, call them on the phone anytime they come in the night. So I just want to know when they're in opposite, if they say that food will make we all feel good. And when they get in now, the phone zero with us. Greetings.
Okay. Thank you so much. And that's our final caller. So Nubian, the people want to know if you're going to knock off your phone on them. So, yeah.
Well, it came, a site on Facebook where a gentleman was asking, same with the people from the diaspora, what happens now is that this is my personal number. Well, the number that I gave out is a number for the constituency that is answered because I still have my regular life to live. I still have kids, work, play, all of that, football, and so the person in the diaspora said that there are persons in the diaspora who wanted to make contact. No, that's a number that we have established, and it would be in the constituency office so that persons could reach out, send texts and what's not, and get back responses for persons in the diaspora who wants to.
Don't you have a local number as well?
That's it. No, it's a local number.
That's the number?
It's 766-1711.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that's the number that we operate from. And so I just share the number just to facilitate persons in the diaspora who would want to make contact. Now, the caller also asked about what's the People's Action Movement's position on on cannabis. We believe in the right to for religious purposes, and that is already established. What the caller has to understand is that the first real movement on cannabis happened under Team Unity government, which PAM was a part of. So PAM already signed on to that. What is happening right now is a continuation of it, which the Labour government at this point in time is continuing. And PAM, the People's Action Movement, will make a commitment to further it, to empower young persons who want to start businesses, continue the dialogue, whether it be regionally or internationally, where we could look at exports, where we could look at cannabis tourism, all those sorts of things, finding everywhere possible so that young people, Kitishans, residents, and also citizens can benefit, if there are benefits to be had, from the whole cannabis industry and the cannabis plant.
Okay. At this point in time, we'll invite our guests to wrap up because we're over time as usual.
Yes, we are.
Well, mine's gonna be a simple wrap up. I was invited to speak about cannabis, and like I said before, I think a lot more. We'd get a lot more further if a lot of our explanations are speaking off, and sometimes to ourselves. So people tend to blame the plant for a lot of things. And what has been my experience is the cannabis, the ganja, the herb is a mirror, is a plant. And just like anything else, just like your tomato or what you eat, what you put inside in it is not just what the quality of it or where it comes from, but your intent. So I found that, let's say herb makes me sleepy, before I go and look for what's the strain and what's the background on it, I don't even assume. I know my body lacks rest. So that will be the impact I'll have on the plant. Because again, the plant, like when a plant is always at rest or growing, a plant is always grounded. A plant, if it's a certain height, is providing some level of shade. So what we do when we partake of the herb, it brings us back more into our natural state. So if you're very masculine, it feminizes you. If you're very feminine, it masculinizes you because it wants a more balance. So again, I find that whenever I use the herb and I find I'm sleepy or I knock me out, I make me a couch potato, it's because I needed that rest. It's not a matter that that plant did that to me, because I ingested it in my body. What I'm feeling is me, not the plant. The plant doesn't transmit feelings. It helps your body to regulate your moods. So if it makes me hungry, as people say, get the munchies, it means I'm lacking some nutrients in my body. Not necessarily that I need to eat food or hungry, but I'm lacking certain nutrients. Because our body speaks to us, It's just that when we partake of the plant, we slow down and we're able to interpret our bodies better, more improved. So if I'm horny, it just means I lack connection. If I'm thirsty, it means I'm dehydrated. Yeah, so sometimes because again, and Robert said it, you have to, I always remember this. When I'm partaking of the herb, if you don't think about the fire and the burning, all I'm doing there is breathing. I'm controlling my inhalations and my exhalations. I'm always having better thoughts, because normally when you're partaking the plant, you're having thoughts, so you're getting managed. You're coming within yourself. These are what people call meditation now. So when I'm partaking of the herb, it's just meditation. It's just simple meditation. So again, sleep because I lack rest. Hunger because I lack nutrients. Honey because I lack connection, because that's something we take for granted. Sometimes when we're running behind, it's really that we're just not connected, because even when we get what we were after, we still don't feel full. So, and Nuben came on a good point when he answered the question, and he made it clear that he has all these aspects. Because that's one of the things I simply ran into trouble with. And a lot of the rejection I'm facing because I partake of the herb, it actually is beneficial to me, because I'm now realizing people don't need me as much as I thought. And I don't need people as much as I thought. So I've learned to schedule. So people call it like knowing your boundaries and your borders, by I understand schedule and always making time for me. Because sometimes when you commit yourself, because this is another thing that I agree with, he always says he's not a politician, and he's not. Because nobody's hard to get now. But I know when I need him, I'll get him. And I see him helping every day, because what you have to do as a helper, as a bridge, as a doer like he is know when to open and know when to allow people to cross. People will cross every day, all day. People will call you, even though they're the ones in trouble and you're the only one that can help, call you when it's convenient to them. So if you're not able to give that no, I'll just lock off your phone. You'll eat up yourself.
Definitely.
So don't forget Saturday. Saturday from 10 to 1 we'll be hopefully engaging in some give back to the community, to the children, making sure they're set for the future, and we'll keep the public abreast of any other activities that we're doing to, as I say, help everyone.
Okay. I want to thank all of you who chose to spend your afternoon with us. Issues will continue tomorrow afternoon. We'll have Mr. Austin Edinburgh here. I just confirmed that Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew will be on Thursday. He will be Thursday's guest. And then, Friday, we have all kind of surprises in store, so you'll want to stick and stay with us.